Hi guys, this is gsno.com and we wish you a happy new year. And the first unboxing we've got here is one for a device which has just been unveiled, Samsung Galaxy S21 FE 5G. FE stands for Fan Edition and it's been a long time coming. It's been delayed a bunch of times. Some say it's been cancelled on account of the component crisis, but here we are, here we have it finally. Now, this is supposed to be an in-between device. It's in between the S21 and S21 Plus with a trace of the Galaxy A series and some inheritance from the S20 FE 5G. We have here the violet version and the handset has, let's make it clear, plastic at the backside. It's an unboxing, but it's not that big of an unboxing on account of it not having a charger inside the box. So, unveiled on January 4th, should be available around January 10th or 11th. The price tag starts at $700 and we have here a version with Snapdragon 888 processor inside, and also we're lucky enough to have the 8GB of RAM, 256GB of storage unit. There's also a version with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. The device has been already set up, so let's see what's inside the box and then some impressions. As you can tell, there's not much to see here. We don't have a charger, but let's see what we do have and how we can open up this particular envelope. Okay, so hopefully we won't break anything. The core of the package is here, so we're getting this warranty card and this cables which goes from USB-C to USB-C. Okay, so far so good. And we have an extra envelope here made of cardboard in the top of the box. By the way, pretty nifty inscriptions here all the way. You can see some emojis here and at the same time some symbols for stabilization, cat photos, smileys. Not sure if you can see all of those. They're well emblazoned on the box. Now here you can see the key used to access the slots. I mean dual nano SIM slots. We do not have any trace of micro SD this year. The predecessor had a micro SD if I remember correctly. If I don't, feel free to correct me. Okay, and here we have the quick start guide, and that's about it. That's everything you're going to find in the box of the freshly unveiled Galaxy S21 Fan Edition 5G. I think the 5G mention is unnecessary because this year we're not getting a 4G version. Okay, so let's get back to the device itself. I have to say it's quite comfy to use. Having seen a bunch of successes over the past year from the 6.43-inch handsets, and Realme has been really getting cozy with that format, Samsung figured out that a 6.4-inch device has got to be successful. And let's be honest, it's quite well fitting in my hand. So 6.4 inches, with much narrower bezels compared to a Galaxy A, about the same size as the Galaxy S21 in bezel size, and quite a narrow punch hole here at the facade. So there's glass at the front with Gorilla Glass Victus protection. There's metal for the frame, which this time has the same color as the camera module, unlike the S21, and this is plastic. In spite of having plastic at the back, we get IP68 certification and also wireless charging. The device is slimmer and lighter than the predecessor at 7.9mm in thickness and 177 grams. It feels, well, flat. Even though these edges may look curved, they're actually flat, and the device fits quite well in the hand with a pretty nice grip. It's actually, I would say, the perfect balance for one-hand usage, for gaming and for video watching. Now, since the design is covered, I should probably mention that aside from this violet hue, we also have others like white, graphite and olive, which will probably be a fan favorite. Now, the thing to notice is that this camera draws inspiration module-wise from the S21, but it's not as protruding as the S21. It's a bit more discreet and closer to what you get on a Galaxy A52. So it blends in with the backside a little bit better. Now I think it's time to discuss the screen, and as you can probably tell, we're dealing with a quality AMOLED here. This one is supposed to be a 6.4-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X with Full HD Plus resolution and 120Hz refresh rate, HDR10+, and well, that's about it. The thing to remember is that this diagonal is actually smaller than the one of the predecessor, which was 6.5 inches in size. It's also bigger than the S21, which is 6.2 inches in size. The bezels, once again, I find to be pretty okay in thickness, and we go further and discuss the CPU. Now, if you're one of the people in Europe which were unhappy with the fact that we got an Exynos processor on the S21 series, you'll be happy to know that this one has a Snapdragon 888 5nm CPU octa-core, which was also found on the likes of the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and the Z Flip 3. Now, as I said before, we're lucky enough to have the version with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. There is also a version with 6 and 128. Once again, no micro SD. There's also no audio jack, just in case you're wondering, and we do have stereo speakers. There's one at the bottom, and there's the earpiece here serving double duty. Honestly, it's one of the narrowest earpieces ever. I can actually barely see it. Now, as far as the battery is concerned, it stays the same as the one as the Galaxy S20 FE. It's a 4500 mAh. It charges at 25 watts via wired and 15 watts wirelessly. You're also supposed to get some sort of reverse charging, which is nice to see on the handset. Now, on the connectivity front, this is definitely a flagship level phone on account of the fact we have 5G, we have USB-C at the bottom, we also have Wi-Fi 6, NFC, Bluetooth 5.0, GPS dual band, the whole shebang, and we also have DeX wireless available here, and let's actually see if I'm correct, if DeX is available among the settings. So we have link to Windows, we have quick share, and DeX is also part of the package, luckily. Now, I think we have finally reached the camera department, and we start off with the petite cutout from here, from the screen. It's a 32 megapixel shooter, I would say rather typical one with fixed focus. However, shoots 4K video in 60 frames per second, which is a bit of a flagship attribute. The back camera is a triple affair. You can see the LED flash here. We got the main 12 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization and dual pixel phase detection autofocus. We have the telephoto 8 megapixel camera with 3x optical zoom, I would say a selling point, and the 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera to keep things, well, wider. Now, this whole module captures 4K video in 60 frames per second, and if you look closely, you can see a lot of the options we saw on the Galaxy S21 series being available here. I would say basically all of them. So we got AR Doodle, Pro Photo and Pro Video, Panorama, Food, Night Mode. This night mode actually combines 14 images in one for an improved capture. Portrait video, super slow-mo, hyperlapse and dual recording. Now, aside from that, there's an extra stabilization option here, Super Steady, which only applies to Full HD capture. And this is the photo department, which has an AI which automatically recognizes text, as you can see here, and automatically gets activated in certain scenarios. Portrait is here, and I'm happy to inform you they also brought the nifty studio options from the S21 series, which I actually wanted to see on the Galaxy A, but that didn't happen. And single take has a lot of sub modes: highlight videos, boomerang clips, rewind clips, 24-hour time-lapse clips, filter photos, collages, portraits and crop shots. Basically, it takes a series of shots and it keeps the best ones. Now, the OS is actually something special. This is actually the very first smartphone with One UI 4.0 pre-installed and also Android 12 pre-installed from Samsung, which is nice to see. Among others, One UI 4.0 offers you this extra large quick settings area covering the whole device, the new and changed brightness bar, some changes for the widgets in the lock screen, and also changes for the widgets in general. So if you pinch the screen, let's properly, or maybe keep it pressed, you can see that the widget picker has changed, and now each widget shows much more information than it did before. And at the same time, when you're activating an application which has access to your camera or microphone, you're going to see a symbol here, a green one, which lets you know that the app is using your camera or your mic. And you also have a history of the apps which access those during the past 24 hours or the past 7 days. So that's the whole thing about privacy. Now, the handset here should get 3 years of Android updates, which is quite nice. And gamers should be aware that it offers 240 Hz touch sampling rate, which is also nice to see. Okay, so I think that's about it. I would say it's one of the comfiest devices I've wielded recently. It feels like a combo between the S21 and the Galaxy A52 with a hint of the core specs of the S20 Fan Edition. It's been a long time coming. It's got an in-display fingerprint scanner, and if it gets a bit cheaper, it could become a hit faster and even compete with the S22. Remains to be seen. Okay, that's it from us. We still have the edge bar here in case you're wondering, and this edge bar helps you with a few shortcuts. And first impressions, once again, narrow bezels, quite good looking design, especially in this lavender, and a more discreet module, and very, very easy to handle. This has been the unboxing. We'll be back with a full review very soon. Goodbye.